In a mansion of gold and silence, a lonely woman stares out. But what secret burns within? Amid the noisy market, a poor boy smiles with hope, unaware his life is about to change. From her shining car, Madam Ifeoma watches the boy, curiosity stirring a dangerous desire. The grand hallway gleams with marble and art, yet silence rules within. Every shadow whispers of her deep loneliness, waiting for fate to arrive. Amid the chaos of the market, Chinedu's laughter shines pure and fearless, a spark of innocence too bright to fade. Yet destiny waits in silence. Through endless marble halls, Madam Ifeoma walks in silence. Wealth surrounds her, yet her heart beats hollow and alone. As dusk paints the sky in gold and pink, the quiet town sleeps. Yet beneath the silence, destiny slowly awakens. Barefoot and weary, Chinedu walks the narrow streets, his basket empty, yet his spirit carries unshaken resilience. Behind iron gates, Madam Ifeoma's eyes lock on Chinedu, curiosity and fate weave a bond neither fully understands. Bathed in golden light yet wrapped in shadows, the mansion stands silent at night, a fortress of wealth, mystery, and aching loneliness. In her lavish study of books and art, Madam Ifeoma sits draped in emerald silk. Beauty surrounds her, yet loneliness rules her soul. Amid Lagos's crowded market, young Chinedu balances his basket with courage, each step heavy, yet his spirit shines unbroken. From her grand balcony, Madam Ifeoma watches the boy in silence. Moonlight glimmers on her golden dress, yet it cannot hide the longing and emptiness within her gaze. As the market silence settles, young Chinedu walks barefoot through narrow streets, his empty basket a quiet witness of struggle. The cracked walls and fading sun mirror his resilience. Though weary, his spirit refuses to bend, carrying hope through the dimming light. The grand hallway glimmers with polished marble, its walls adorned with African art and towering pillars. A chandelier casts soft light over the emptiness, every shadow whispering of wealth without warmth, grandeur without laughter, and a mansion aching with silence. In the heart of his small community, young Chinedu laughs as he offers fruits to an elder. His worn clothes speak of struggle, yet the sunlight on his smile tells another story, of innocence unbroken, of optimism that shines even in life's hardest corners. At dusk, Madam Ifeoma wanders her garden, silk gown flowing as her hand grazes the flowers. Behind her, the mansion looms grand yet hollow. The sunset glows warmly, but in her eyes rests a quiet longing, a loneliness no wealth has ever been able to chase away. Inside the grand mansion, young Chinedu's wide eyes glisten under the soft glow of the chandelier. His lips tremble, caught between fear and unspoken questions. The blurred luxury behind him feels distant, unreal, too far from the life he knew. Every shadow whispers uncertainty, every flicker of light reflects his pounding heart. In this moment, the boy stands on the edge of a story that will change him forever. In the quiet of her private gallery, Madam Ifeoma draped in red silk runs her hand across priceless African artifacts. Each piece whispers memories of a past filled with love and loss. Her jeweled eyes glimmer with nostalgia, yet the silence around her deepens the ache of loneliness. Surrounded by treasures, she discovers the emptiness wealth cannot fill. Chinedu steps into the vast library, his small hands brushing along towering shelves filled with books he never imagined. Sunlight filters through tall windows, casting golden beams on polished wooden floors. His eyes sparkle with wonder, each book a doorway to a world unknown. For the first time, curiosity replaces struggle, and dreams begin to awaken in his heart. At golden hour, Madam Ifeoma's mansion glows like a treasure under the fading sun. Tall walls rise proudly, ornate gates glisten, and manicured gardens filled with tropical plants whisper elegance. The windows catch the warm light, reflecting beauty that dazzles the eye. To the world outside, it is a home of grace and grandeur. Yet behind this shimmering perfection lies silence, a hollow stillness where wealth cannot fill the emptiness, and beauty masks the weight of loneliness. In the heart of her mansion, Madam Ifeoma sits alone at a dining table meant for many. The polished wood gleams under soft candlelight, elegant jewelry resting on her as shadows dance around empty chairs. The feast of wealth surrounds her, yet not a soul shares her space. Her eyes carry longing, Her silence speaks of nights spent in quiet ache. In this grand hall of abundance, the absence of laughter is louder than any voice, revealing the loneliness hidden behind her grace. In the lush garden of the mansion, young Chinedu reaches out with cautious wonder, his small hand brushing against exotic plants he has never seen before. The vibrant colors of African flora glow under the soft touch of sunlight, painting his innocence against the grandeur behind him. Each leaf, each flower, whispers a world beyond his struggles, a place of hope, mystery, and new beginnings. His wide eyes reflect both amazement and a fragile courage, connecting him to a future yet unseen. In the silent corridor of the grand mansion, two servants huddle close, their hushed whispers echoing with fear and suspicion. The polished marble beneath their feet reflects the dim light, while shadows stretch along the walls like secrets refusing to stay hidden. Concern etches their faces, every glance over their shoulders hinting at truths too dangerous to speak aloud. In this fragile silence, their whispers carry the weight of tension, building a storm that quietly brews within the mansion's heart. In the vast mansion hall, silence thickens as two worlds collide. Chinedu, a boy in worn clothes, stands frozen, his wide eyes reflecting both fear and wonder. Opposite him, Madam Ifeoma, draped in flowing silk, gazes with cautious curiosity, her guarded heart flickering with warmth she cannot hide. The marble floor mirrors the chandelier's glow, while the night sky peers in through towering windows. Suspense hums in the air, for this encounter is not mere chance. It is the beginning of destiny. Barefoot and trembling, Chinedu walks through the grand marble hallway, his small frame swallowed by the mansion's vastness. Each step echoes like a secret he is not meant to keep, while golden light from the chandelier above drapes him in uneasy glow. Shadows stretch endlessly across polished floors, whispering of stories untold. African art stares silently from the walls, their painted eyes watching every hesitant move. Fear battles with wonder in his young heart, for he is both intruder and dreamer, standing at the edge of a destiny he cannot yet name. From the balcony high above, Madam Ifeoma watches silently, her royal blue gown rippling like the night itself. Moonlight caresses her dark skin, her jewelry glittering with a quiet fire, yet her eyes reveal a storm she dares not name. Below, Chinedu wanders through the glowing garden, fountains whispering, exotic flowers swaying under lantern light. Each of his innocent steps pulls her deeper into a longing she cannot escape, an obsession cloaked in silence. She is queen of this mansion, yet prisoner of her own heart, drawn to the boy who unknowingly walks through her world, rewriting her solitude. Chinedu sits quietly at the endless dining table, his small frame swallowed by grandeur, his eyes wide with wonder and unease. Before him, silver platters overflow with fruits and meats he has never dared to taste, yet his hands remain still, trembling with both awe and hesitation. Candlelight flickers across polished wood, casting long shadows over empty chairs that speak of silence and forgotten company. Across the table, Madam Ifeoma watches in stillness, her gaze heavy, unreadable, curiosity and sorrow entwined. Between them stretches not just a table of untouched food, but the fragile beginning of a bond neither can yet understand. Behind the towering marble pillars, the servants huddle close, their whispers sharp and hurried, carried softly by the silence of the mansion. 3 pairs of anxious eyes dart nervously toward the golden-lit hallway, shadows flickering across their tense faces. Fear and curiosity mix in their hushed tones, each word weighed with caution, each glance betraying secrets too dangerous to speak aloud. The polished floor beneath them gleams, reflecting not comfort but unease, as if the mansion itself listens. In this quiet, the air grows heavy with suspicion, and the whispers of the servants weave threads of doubt, foreshadowing truths that cannot stay hidden forever. In the quiet of the dimly lit music room, Chinedu's small fingers hover above the grand piano, his eyes wide with wonder as though he has stumbled upon hidden magic. Dusty sunlight filters through heavy curtains, painting golden streaks across polished ivory keys that wait to sing again. The air is still, yet alive with a forgotten melody, as African masks on the walls seem to watch in silence. Behind him, Madam Ifeoma stands in the shadows, her figure blurred yet powerful, her unreadable gaze fixed on the boy. Curiosity and silence intertwine, A fragile moment where innocence meets mystery, and the sound of possibility hangs unplayed in the air. As the evening sun sinks low, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, whispers ripple through the dusty streets of the village. Mothers in vibrant wrappers gather in hushed circles, their eyes filled with worry, their voices heavy with speculation. Children, barefoot and carefree, play nearby, unaware of the storm of fear that brews around them. Clay houses stand silent, firewood smoke rising gently, carrying with it the weight of unspoken dread. Chinedu's absence hangs over the community like a shadow, each glance and murmur echoing the same question. Where is the boy, and what fate has befallen him? The village breathes uncertainty. In the heart of her lavish dining hall, where golden candelabra glow against polished wood, Madam Ifeoma leans forward with gentle grace. Draped in elegance, she takes Chinedu's small hand, guiding it carefully over the silver cutlery that gleams brighter than anything he has ever touched. The boy sits stiff, awkward, yet his wide eyes shine with a quiet curiosity, torn between awe and unease. Before him lies a feast too grand to taste, each dish a symbol of the distance between his world and hers. In that moment, wealth and poverty sit side by side at one table, their silence heavy with unspoken truths, their bond slowly beginning to form. Within the towering library, sunlight spills through arched windows, painting the polished floors in golden hues. Rows of endless books rise like silent giants, whispering secrets of worlds unknown. Small and barefoot, Chinedu stretches his fragile arm toward a book resting high above, his face lit with wonder and determination. Each step, each reach, carries the weight of a boy who has known little but survival, now brushing against the boundless world of knowledge. The air is thick with the scent of old pages and mystery, as if the mansion itself holds its breath, watching him discover a destiny larger than his young frame could yet imagine. The mansion's silence is broken by heated voices echoing through the grand hallway. Madam Ifeoma, draped in a flowing red gown, stands tall, her words sharp and cutting. Her most trusted servant, trembling, raises his hands in desperate defense. Shadows of fear flickering across his face under the dim golden lamps. From behind a marble pillar, Chinedu hides, heart pounding, his wide eyes fixed on the scene. Every whispered accusation and bitter reply slices through the still air. Suspense thickens like smoke, pressing in on the boy's chest. Though unseen, he feels the weight of secrets unraveling, secrets too dangerous for innocent ears, yet impossible for him to turn away from. In the heart of a room draped with wealth beyond his dreams, Chinedu sits quietly on the polished floor, his worn clothes stark against golden sheets and velvet curtains. Before him lies a glittering toy, carved with care, waiting to be played with. Yet his small hands hesitate, his wide eyes caught between wonder and fear. The soft glow of candlelight dances across his troubled face, revealing not joy but a deep ache, a longing for the simplicity of home. Surrounded by riches that whisper promises, he feels only distance, the sharp silence of a world that does not belong to him. Moonlight spills through towering windows, painting silver trails across the polished piano where Madam Ifeoma's fingers glide over the keys. Each haunting note lingers in the vast hall, heavy with secrets and sorrow. Draped in flowing silk, her figure seems both powerful and fragile, lost in music that speaks of longing. On the floor, Chinedu sits cross-legged, his eyes wide, torn between fear and fascination. The melodies pull at his heart, weaving a bond he does not understand, a connection fragile yet unspoken. In that silence between notes, destinies begin to entwine. Beneath the ancient tree, shadows stretch across the dusty earth as village elders gather in quiet urgency. Draped in flowing agbatas, their faces lined with wisdom and worry, they speak in low, deliberate tones about the boy who vanished. Lantern light flickers against their stern expressions, casting long glows that dance with the night wind. Behind them, curious children hover in silence, wide-eyed, straining to hear secrets meant only for elders. The air is heavy with tension, each word echoing like a warning, each pause carrying the weight of fear. In this circle of tradition and responsibility, decisions stir, decisions that may change destinies. As the first light of dawn breaks, Chinedu steps barefoot into the mansion gardens, the cool dew clinging to his small feet. Tropical leaves shimmer softly under the golden glow. their beauty both inviting and strange. Behind him, the towering mansion looms, its silent walls casting shadows that stretch like watchful eyes. His movements are careful, every step a mix of hesitation and awe, as if he fears waking secrets hidden in the silence. The garden whispers with mystery, flowers glistening like treasures yet untouched. In his cautious curiosity, innocence meets suspense, and the boy becomes both wanderer and captive of an unknown world. In the stillness of evening, Madam Ifeoma and Chinedu sit across from each other in her private study, a heavy wooden desk separating their worlds. The chandelier above spills soft golden light, its glow dancing across shelves filled with ancient books whispering forgotten stories. Madam Ifeoma leans forward, her eyes sharp, her expression carved with unspoken weight. Across from her, Chinedu sits small and nervous, his hands pressed together, listening with a mixture of fear and curiosity. The silence between them is thick, every second laced with mystery and hidden truths, as if the room itself guards a secret neither dares to fully reveal. Night wraps Madam Ifeoma's study in silence, broken only by the flicker of candle flames. Chinedu stands small and barefoot near the massive oak desk, his worn clothes clinging to him as fear widens his young eyes. Shadows from the towering bookshelves stretch long across the polished floor, turning the room into a cage of darkness. The heavy air presses down, filled with secrets he cannot understand, yet cannot escape. Each candle flicker feels like a whisper, each shadow like a watchful gaze. Alone, locked inside, the boy senses the mansion itself breathing around him, waiting, holding him captive in its grip of mystery and dread. Beneath the glittering chandelier, Madam Ifeoma's silk gown sweeps across the marble floor as she paces, her footsteps echoing through the hollow mansion. Her face, carved by shadows, flickers between rage and sorrow, a storm raging silently within her. The grand staircase looms behind, casting long, jagged shadows that stretch like claws across the vast hall. Each stride betrays her unrest, each breath heavy with secrets too sharp to confess. Though surrounded by splendor, she moves alone, trapped in a prison built not of walls but of her own turmoil. The mansion magnifies her isolation, its silence a cruel reminder of the emptiness she cannot escape. Chinedu strains with all his might against the massive wooden doors, his small frame trembling under the impossible weight. Sunlight barely slips through the cracks, casting thin lines of hope across the polished brass handles. Sweat beads on his forehead, mixing fear with determination, each push a battle against both the door and his own rising panic. The grain of the wood, the cold metal of the handles, the silence of the mansion, all press down on him, yet he refuses to yield. Every muscle aches, every breath is sharp with effort, and in that desperate struggle, courage and survival collide in a moment that will define the boy's spirit forever. In the vast mansion hall, Chinedu halts mid-stride, frozen by the sight of Madam Ifeoma standing before him. Her emerald silk gown flows like liquid fire, her outstretched hand a barrier he cannot cross. Her eyes blaze with desperation, a storm of power and vulnerability, as the chandelier above casts fierce reflections across polished marble floors. The night sky looms beyond tall windows, silent witness to this tense moment. Fear grips the boy, each heartbeat echoing like a drum in the empty hall. In this confrontation, innocence meets authority, courage faces control, and the fragile line between trust and terror is drawn in shadows and light, marking a turning point neither will forget. Kneeling before him, Madam Ifeoma's tears streak her face, smudging the carefully applied makeup, yet revealing the raw vulnerability beneath. Her jewelry catches the soft candlelight, glinting like fragments of a life filled with both wealth and isolation. Her eyes, heavy with loneliness and longing, search Chinedu's face for understanding, for forgiveness, for a connection she has long denied herself. Every quiver of her lips, every sigh, speaks of regrets and desires unspoken, a heart burdened by years of solitude. In that intimate moment, power and vulnerability collide, creating a fragile bridge between two souls from worlds apart, where the silence says more than words ever could. In the vast expanse of the mansion hall, Chinedu curls into himself, hugging his knees as quiet tears stream down his small face. The golden glow of the chandelier above casts long, dramatic shadows, emphasizing his fragility against the grandeur that surrounds him. Every sob is swallowed by the polished marble floors, every shiver lost in the cavernous space. The opulence that dazzles the eye only deepens his sense of isolation, making the boy feel both invisible and overwhelmed. In that corner, vulnerability and fear merge, a silent testament to the loneliness that even wealth cannot shield one from. As dusk settles over the mansion, a search party from the village gathers beneath the looming iron gates. Lanterns and torches cast flickering light on anxious faces, men tense with determination, women in colorful wrappers clutching each other in worry. Curious children peek from behind, their wide eyes reflecting both fear and hope. The purple-orange sky stretches above, silhouetting the massive walls and casting long shadows that mingle with the flickering flames. Every whispered plan, every hurried glance, carries the weight of urgency and dread. Suspense hangs thick in the air, for the boy's fate is unknown, and the night swallows both hope and fear in equal measure. Chinedu strains against her grip, small hands trembling as he tries to pull away, his wide eyes swimming with fear and confusion. Madam Ifeoma clutches him tightly, her own face a storm of desperation and sorrow, each heartbeat echoing in the cavernous hall. The golden chandelier casts light that gleams off the polished marble, reflecting their struggle like a distorted mirror of power and vulnerability. Every movement, every silent plea, carries the weight of unspoken emotions, a clash between authority and innocence. In this tense, frozen moment, fear, longing, and helplessness collide, leaving both trapped in a fragile, haunting bond that neither fully understands yet cannot escape. Chinedu clings desperately to the iron railing, his small bare feet barely finding balance as he leans out of the balcony window. His voice pierces the quiet night, screaming for help that seems swallowed by the vast mansion walls. Below, torchlight flickers against the stone, casting trembling shadows that fail to reach him. The moon hangs high, cold and silent, witnessing his terror, yet offering no comfort. Every heartbeat thunders in his chest, fear and panic battling against courage. In this suspended moment, the boy is alone against the weight of towering walls, the still night, and the uncertainty of who, if anyone, will hear his desperate call. Madam Ifeoma collapses onto the cold marble floor, her silk gown spreading like liquid around her, jewelry catching faint glimmers of chandelier light. Her face buries into her hands, each tremor of her body speaking of despair, regret, and unbearable loneliness. Shadows stretch and break across the polished surface, echoing the fracture within her soul. In the grand hall that once celebrated her power and elegance, defeat now reigns. Every heartbeat reverberates in the emptiness, a silent testament to the weight of isolation, the burden of choices, and the raw ache of a woman confronting the fragility hidden beneath her wealth and grandeur. Chinedu grips a single candle like a fragile shield, its flickering light casting trembling shadows across his determined yet fearful face. Each breath he takes is sharp with tension, every step hesitant as he stands alone in the study, the towering bookshelves looming like silent witnesses. In the doorway, Madam Ifeoma hesitates, torn between fury and heartbreak, her eyes searching his for understanding that cannot yet be given. The golden candlelight dances across polished wood and ancient tomes, illuminating a standoff charged with unspoken emotion. In this charged silence, courage confronts authority, innocence meets power, and the fragile bond between them teeters on the edge of trust and fear. At the towering mansion gates, the village elder stands resolute, his flowing agbada catching the torchlight as his stern gaze pierces the night. Behind him, villagers clutch lanterns, their faces etched with worry and determination, shadows flickering across the ground. Every word he utters carries the weight of tradition, authority, and urgent demand. Release the boy. The massive gates loom like silent witnesses, cold and unyielding, yet trembling under the pressure of their united resolve. In this tense confrontation, courage meets power, loyalty meets fear, and the struggle for justice unfolds under the cinematic glow of torchlight and moonlit sky. In the heart of the mansion hall, Madam Ifeoma collapses into Chinedu's arms, tears streaming freely as she clings to him with desperate intensity. The boy resists, small hands pressing against her flowing silk gown, uncertainty and fear etched across his young face. Yet her sobs fall like rain onto his shoulder, each one carrying years of loneliness, regret, and longing. Above them, the chandelier glows warmly, casting a golden halo that softens the vast hall's coldness. In this fragile, heartbreaking embrace, power and innocence collide. Fear melts into trust, and two souls, worlds apart, begin the delicate dance of reconciliation and understanding. As the mansion gates begin to close behind him, Chinedu steps into the open air, small and weary, his dusty bare feet carrying the weight of fear and relief. Village women rush forward, their colorful wrappers fluttering, faces alight with tearful smiles and overwhelming joy. Hands clutch his arms, cheeks press against his, and the boy feels the warmth of belonging for the first time in what feels like forever. The purple-orange dusk sky stretches above, bathing the reunion in golden light. In this moment, sorrow gives way to relief, fear transforms into love, and the long shadow of isolation is finally broken by the embrace of a community that never stopped hoping. Madam Ifeoma stands alone on the balcony, the night wind tugging at her loose silk gown as tears streak her swollen eyes. The mansion lies silent behind her, its walls echoing the emptiness she feels inside. Below, the quiet village basks in silver moonlight, unaware of the turmoil above. Her posture slumps with the weight of regret, each breath heavy with longing for what she cannot reclaim. The vast night sky stretches endlessly, reflecting her solitude. In this cinematic moment, wealth and power mean nothing. Only loss remains, a stark reminder that even hearts of gold cannot hold what is meant to be free. In the warm glow of lanterns, Chinedu sprints across the village square, tiny feet kicking up dust as his heart races with relief. His mother, wrapped in vibrant cloth, opens her arms wide, tears streaming freely as she pulls him close. Around them, villagers cheer, clap, and murmur prayers of gratitude, their faces alight with joy and hope. Clay houses and winding streets frame the scene, bathed in the soft light of celebration. In this heartfelt reunion, fear and sorrow melt into love and belonging. A cinematic moment where a lost boy finds his way back to home, family, and the embrace that mends the soul. Hidden behind heavy curtains, Madam Ifeoma's tear-streaked face peeks into the night, candlelight flickering across her sorrowful eyes. Each glimmer reflects the crushing weight of her choices, the emptiness her wealth cannot fill. From afar, she watches Chinedu reunited with his family, her heart aching with longing and regret. Shadows dance across her features, emphasizing the solitude carved by years of isolation and longing. In this quiet cinematic moment, the mansion walls echo her realization. Love cannot be forced, and freedom cannot be contained. Power and riches mean nothing against the truth of a heart she can no longer hold. Under the flickering torchlight, the village elder raises his carved staff, his voice steady and commanding as he speaks of forgiveness and the strength of community. Villagers gather close, faces attentive, eyes reflecting trust, hope, and the lessons of shared experience. Children cling to their mothers, elders nod slowly, all absorbing the weight of his words. The warm glow illuminates their expressions, weaving a sense of unity that transcends fear and past mistakes. In this cinematic, heartfelt moment, the village learns that compassion heals, bonds endure, and together they can rise stronger, a moral truth etched into every shadow and flicker of light around them. Beside the flickering fire, Chinedu sits close to his mother, sharing a small, humble meal. His smile is bright and innocent, a reflection of joy finally restored. His mother's face glows with relief, eyes shining as she watches him eat, each bite a symbol of safety and love regained. The firelight wraps them in warmth, dancing across their skin and the clay walls behind, creating a cozy, intimate atmosphere. In this cinematic moment, hardship and fear give way to comfort and belonging, a quiet celebration of reunion, resilience, and the simple joys that make home a place of heart and soul. Under the warm daylight, Madam Ifeoma stands among the village children, her once opulent attire now modest, a silent gesture of humility and kindness. She offers food and gifts, hands extended with hope, while the children receive them cautiously, eyes wide with curiosity, skepticism, and tentative trust. Clay houses frame the scene, their earthy tones grounding the act in reality. Each smile, each hesitant grasp, carries the weight of redemption and reconciliation. In this cinematic moment, Wealth is transformed into generosity, guilt into action, and the fragile bridge between two worlds begins to mend through simple, heartfelt gestures. Chinedu walks freely through the bustling marketplace, his small hands gripping a basket of fruits, a bright smile lighting up his face. Familiar faces greet him with warmth, nods, waves, and laughter filling the air as vibrant stalls overflow with colors and life. The scent of ripe mangoes and spices mingles with the chatter of vendors, creating a symphony of daily joy. Each step he takes is unburdened, each glance full of recognition and belonging. In this cinematic moment, freedom and happiness bloom. The boy once trapped now fully immersed in the lively rhythm of his community, a heart restored to its rightful place. Kneeling on the earthen ground, Madam Ifeoma bows her head, hands clasped tightly as she seeks forgiveness from the village elder. Her eyes are downcast, face etched with humility and regret, every movement a silent plea for mercy. The elder studies her with a stern yet wise gaze, the weight of tradition and justice in his expression. Torchlight flickers across the gathered villagers, their faces a mixture of curiosity, caution, and hope. In this cinematic moment, pride gives way to humility, authority meets repentance, and the power of accountability and forgiveness illuminates the path toward reconciliation. Chinedu stands barefoot on the dusty ground, eyes lifted to the vast night sky, where countless stars shimmer like distant promises. A small, hopeful smile plays on his lips, innocence radiating from his young face as he absorbs the beauty and vastness of the universe above. The quiet night surrounds him, the soft rustle of leaves and distant sounds of the village grounding him in reality. In this cinematic, inspirational moment, the boy's spirit shines brighter than the stars, a symbol of resilience, hope, and the endless possibilities that await beyond fear and hardship. Madam Ifeoma sits alone in the quiet mansion library, candlelight flickering beside her, casting warm but lonely shadows across her face. Her pen moves slowly over the diary pages, each word a reflection of regret, longing, and lessons painfully learned. The towering bookshelves loom silently, dust settling in the stillness, a reminder of time passing and isolation endured. In this cinematic moment, her wealth and grandeur fade into the background, replaced by introspection and change. Each written thought is a step toward understanding, humility, and the hope of becoming a better, more compassionate self. As the golden light of sunrise spills over the fields, village children run and laugh freely, their joyous voices echoing across the tall swaying grass. Among them, Chinedu moves with unburdened delight, barefoot and smiling, his eyes reflecting pure happiness and the thrill of freedom regained. The morning breeze dances through the grass, carrying the scent of earth and possibility. In this cinematic, hopeful moment, every laugh, every leap, embodies liberation, innocence restored, and the boundless promise of a new day where fear no longer holds him back, and life unfolds in warmth, color, and joy. Outside the grand mansion, a cracked flower pot catches the morning sunlight, its fractures stark yet illuminated with gentle warmth. From within, a bright flower blooms defiantly, petals vibrant against the worn clay, a living testament to resilience and renewal. Each ray of sunlight highlights the delicate growth, emphasizing that beauty and life can emerge even from brokenness. In this cinematic, symbolic moment, the flower mirrors the journey of forgiveness, redemption, and moral healing, showing that despite past mistakes, hope, growth, and transformation are always possible.